to my FODMAP kitchen. Today we're going to indulge in some chocolatey goodness and make gluten-free brownies. For this episode, we're going to look at making brownies two different ways. The I'm lazy and I don't have a lot of time and I want to make it out of a box recipe, or the I have a favorite family recipe and I would rather make it from scratch way. So without further ado, let's make some brownies. I'm going to start with the boxed brownies. When it comes to brownie mix, my all-time favorite is the gluten-free brownie mix by Bob's Red Mill. They are, to date, the best brownies I've ever had, even better than brownies made with regular flour. So to make them, all you'll need is 1 package of brownie mix, 3 eggs, and half a cup of melted butter. For tools, I'm going to be using my handy-dandy KitchenAid stand mixer with the whisk attachment, but if you don't have a stand mixer, that's okay. An electric hand mixer will work just fine, or if you don't have either of those, you'll just use a whisk. You're going to start by melting your butter. I just took my butter and I put it in a crucible, and I just put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. And for the next step, this is the really easy part, you just take everything and put it in your mixer. To start, take your whisk attachment and insert it into the KitchenAid. Then add all of your ingredients into the mixing bowl, starting with the mix. Then add the eggs. Finally, the melted butter. Then just mix it all together on a medium speed. Once it's done, it will look like this, and it will be completely smooth with no bumps. Our batter is ready, and at this point, if you want to put in any add-ins like vanilla or almond extract or peppermint extract, you can. You'll just take whatever extract or flavoring you want and put in 1 teaspoon. So what I like to do is I have some Mexican vanilla that I got on my honeymoon, and I like to just take a little bit of that and put it in there, and it gives it a richer flavor. Then the next step is going to be taking a 9x13 baking dish and spraying it with a little bit of baking spray so that your batter doesn't stick. Once our baking pan is all sprayed, then we're going to take our spatula and scoop our batter into the pan. Then smooth it flat into all the corners of the pan. Ta-da! Don't judge me. For our final step, what I like to do in my brownies is I'll take some dark chocolate chips. You'll want to make sure that it is dark chocolate because semi-sweet and even milk chocolate will have a higher concentration of milk, which will make you sick because of the lactose. So dark chocolate is what you'll want to get, usually about 70% or higher. Once our chocolate chips are all sprinkled in, these brownies are ready to go into the oven. Preheat your oven to 325 degrees. Then, place your brownies in the oven on the middle rack and set your timer for 30 minutes. Once the 30 minutes is up, pull the brownies out onto the rack and check them with a toothpick. So to do that, you will take your toothpick and insert it into the middle of the brownies. And you'll know it's done when you pull it out and there are no crumbs sticking to it. Then take them out of the oven and let them cool. Moving on to making our brownies from scratch. If you have a favorite brownie recipe at home that uses regular flour, I'm going to show you how to take that recipe and make it low FODMAP. I'm going to be using my favorite brownie recipe, the perfect chocolate brownies from the cookbook Chocolate Never Faileth by Annette Leon. The secret to making any recipe a low FODMAP gluten-free recipe is in gluten-free 1-to-1 flour. It has all of the components, a different blend of gluten-free flours and xanthan gum, which helps it to rise and makes it so that you can use it in place of regular flour cup for cup. To make these perfect chocolate brownies, you'll need 1.5 cups of gluten-free 1-to-1 flour, 4 eggs, 2 cups of sugar, 3/4 cup of 100% baking cocoa, a teaspoon of vanilla, a teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, and 2 sticks, which is 1 cup of melted butter. Then for tools, I am again going to be using my stand mixer with the whisk attachment. To start, we are going to add our sugar and our butter into the stand mixer. And mix it together until it is smooth and fluffy. Once the sugar is melted and your mixture is smooth, add the eggs and the vanilla into the batter. Then mix together until well combined. Once that is all combined, then you'll add the rest of your ingredients. Your flour, baking powder, salt, and cocoa powder. Then mix thoroughly until it's all combined and there are no more chunks. Remember to scrape down the sides as it mixes so that it all is evenly combined. Our batter is mixed and now it is ready to go into our sprayed 9x13 pan. Then spread it smooth into all the corners. Next, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Once your oven is preheated, place your brownies in the oven on the middle rack and set your timer for 35 minutes. Once your 35 minutes is up, you will again test your brownies with a toothpick. And when it comes out clean, that's how you know they're done. At this point, what I like to do with these brownies is you'll turn your oven off and sprinkle some chocolate chips right on the top. And just spread them out. And then put them back in the warm oven for about a minute. Once that 1 minute is up, pull your brownies out and with a spoon, smooth the chocolate chips over the top so you get a nice even coat. Then pull your brownies out of the oven and let them cool. Ta-da! Here are the gluten-free brownies that we've made today. We have our box mix gluten-free brownies with our dark chocolate chips sprinkled all in between. And we have our from scratch gluten-free brownies, but we've melted our chocolate chips on top. These are really good on their own or with ice cream warmed up. Just make sure that when you remove them from the pan, you'll store them in an airtight container because they will dry out rather fast. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make some gluten-free brownies today. Stay tuned for the next episode where we're going to talk more about substitutions, and I'm going to give you some tips on working with gluten-free flour. For this episode, we're going to look at making brownies 2 different ways. The cats are annoying. For this episode, we're going to be looking at making brownies. Sort of. I'm going to start with the brownie mix. Box brownies. I'm going to start with the box brownies. Okay. I'm going to start with the box mix. Box brownies. Bleh. Woo. I'm going to start with the box brownies. When it comes to, did I say that right? Mm-hmm. Okay. For tools, what you're going to need are a mixer. I'm using my handy dandy KitchenAid stand mixer, but if you don't have a stand mixer, you'll just use either a hand mixer. That's what it's called.
A hand mixer or a whisk.
A hand mixer or a whisk.
Though technically a whisk is a hand mixer.